Our goal is to build the absolute best endurance products in the world. These athletes give us the input they need to make sure they can compete with the best people out there. That's how we build our products.
I'm very comfortable running with this amount of water or fluid in one hand, and the Liquid Shot is something that I train with in this hand. So almost all of my runs I carry a flask just in case I pump.
EFS Liquid Shot, and this bottle has me a lot during the season, stage races where it's cold and rainy, and I found it really useful because it has a big amount of calories. When the race is full and the pace is high, you don't need to. It's easy to take it, and it helped me a lot during some hard stages in the Giro when the weather was so bad. Then the hand are frozen and you cannot handle a bar or a gel. This was the easiest way for me to get the calories in. Empty a little bit, let's say 1/3 of this, take it out and put it in the bottle, and then add one espresso coffee in this bottle.
EFS Liquid Shot, okay, same name, but we call it a Liquid Shot. Mimics the same formula, same carbohydrate, same electrolyte blend. Key difference between this product and what's out in the market, no gelling agents. To make a liquid, a gel, to thicken it so it's thick like a gel, you add gelling agents like xanthine gums, Arabic gums. That's what make it thick. Those gums slow down gastric emptying, meaning those gums, when they get to your stomach, they don't allow the fluids to empty from your stomach into your bloodstream. Worst thing you can do in exercise is have gums while you're exercising. So we made it real critical when we build this formula, we didn't thicken it with gelling agents. We use a different kind of packaging you're not used to with gels. It's a reusable package that you can refill with the jug. So you finish this, you can wash it out, you can refill it. And I can refill it, I can put 100 calories in here if I want and top it off with water, and that's good for an hour, roughly. You know, I can put 200 calories in here, top it off with water. Not only can you change the concentration and make it more liquid, you can pick and choose how many calories you want. So if I'm going on a century ride and I need 800 calories for my century ride, I can take 2 of these and water my water bottles, and that's all I need. So it was.
Or even add it to your water bottle itself.
Yeah, you can actually take the jug and add it to your water bottle. I can make a 400 calorie water bottle, 800 calorie water bottle, whatever I need. So it's very, very flexible packaging. It allows you to really customize your fuel.
So is that just pretty much your powder with the water already mixed in?
Yes, but not exactly.
Okay.
The way our system was designed, this becomes your primary fuel. The electrolyte concentration is actually much higher here than here. So up to about 200 calories an hour, this is what we recommend. If you want more than that, you add that with this. So this has a few different sources of some of the key electrolytes. Calcium and magnesium. We use malates in there that are actually much, much easier on your stomach. And it was designed so that is above and beyond what you get from the drink. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Question, I know you focus, everything's kind of around the glycemic index. I've read how they actually came up with the glycemic index. They took 50 grams of straight glucose and then they ingested it into the person, and then they compare whatever food they take in and compare it to that 50 grams of glucose.
Yeah.
But the 2 problems that they said with that is that nobody eats it in 50-gram increments only, and depending on how it's made, how it's processed, you know, there's a lot of things that affect the glycemic index as well. So what you're saying is each product is, you know, going off that glycemic index depending on pre-race, post-race, and after-race. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but what was the actual question?
So, yeah, so just each one, so, because you were saying with the gelling agents, you know, if you take in that stuff, it's going to just slow down gastric emptying time, so it's not as, I guess, high glycemic as you'd say.
Yeah, and you know, glycemic index is one part of the equation. When we look at research, we look at everything that has to do with carbohydrates. Multiple channels is a different part of the research that doesn't really pay attention to glycemic index so much. Osmolarity is another part of the equation that really doesn't pay attention to glycemic index so much. So you have to look at all the research And we as researchers with our endurance research board, we have to sift through all that and look and decide, okay, what is really best out there? So we looked at osmolarity, we looked at glycemic index, we looked at multiple channels, and that's how we've come up with our formulas. So we don't focus on just one part of the research. So bottom line, the absolute highest quality. Again, this is critical, not only for our customers out there, for the professional athletes out there, making sure there's no banned substances. Highly, highly research-based formulas. Okay, we look deeply into the clinical research out there, and in the end, you know, our goal is none other than making the best endurance supplements in the world. That's it. That's who we want to be. We don't want to be anybody else. Our goal is to build the absolute best endurance products in the world. These athletes give us the input they need to make sure they can compete with the best people out there. That's how we build our products.